What's up, guys? Chad, Easy Astro Images hit channel here, and our hobby has a problem, and the problem is the price. I just heard a staggering statistic today that Gen Z is literally spending 31% on just a home or an apartment in a light polluted area that they don't have a garage. They don't have any of this stuff that maybe someone like myself at 46 years old and was able to buy a home 12 years ago when things were way more affordable. You know, if you've been to the grocery store lately, I'm sure you all are feeling it no matter what your income level is. Now, as I've been searching for new Astro equipment, it honestly just sickens me that I got rid of all the stuff in the first place. And that's just kind of on me. It is what it is. I made the decision and I don't regret it. I would love to have it and I'm going to be buying stuff. But the point is that a lot of people are just never going to be able to afford to get into our amazing hobby. But we can all band together and help them. Now, we've talked about sites like Telescope Live and iTelescope, getting data, that kind of stuff. Well, even these guys on iTelescope now have raised their prices on their plans. And this is where you get like good data. So I would never even consider about using one of these telescopes at these hourly rates. I mean, it's just kind of insane. This stuff is obviously catered to people that have money. The cool thing about it, though, is they used to give you these premium images, and they still do. The problem is, though, that, like, if you want to get Oxygen 3 narrowband data imaging, you got to be at least part of their $90 plan. Oh, and by the way, if you want the really good exposures, you need to be in the $160 to $1,000 a month plan. I mean, seriously, whatever. And the iTelescope stuff is great, but let's face it, it's kind of on the cheap side. The data is really, I mean, they charge you a couple bucks for an image, but they barely give you anything, so the images don't turn out really good. So what have I been doing? Obviously, I'm going through old data, but I see so many YouTube creators that are out there, and I don't understand this astrophotography space. Everybody, I mean, what is there to gain by, I don't know, by not sharing your data? Like, I share my data with everybody for free on all of the videos that I do, and I'm going to put more data up as I can. And as a point, I'll always give my data for free. And I just started YouTube memberships, and whether you want to pay $2 or give my crazy ass $25 a month, I'm always going to give my data for free. I just want you to maybe donate to me too, because you like me and what I do. Now, I am totally up for, and I always have donated to people. I think I've got like 10 or 12 YouTube subscriptions going on right now of people that consistently provide data, or people that I think deserve it and add value to the community, or people that are doing other things like Steady Astro, for example. You know, I promoted his channel. Look what he's done for the PIXINSIGHT stuff. $2 a month to SETI Astro. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that? And he's actually giving us stuff that are making everybody's lives better. I know a lot of people do the Patreon thing and all kinds of stuff like that, and I don't want to get into that. I just want to basically do this to prove a point to everybody that, you know, I know you all want to get your APODs and all this stuff like that, but there's people out there, if we want to save and grow this hobby and keep things going, then we got to provide them with a way to use the hobby. So we got to give them the data, because they're not going to be able to afford the equipment. They're not going to have a place for the equipment. So I'm just kind of calling on all of you guys out there to support channels like that will actually do that. And if you have a YouTube channel out there and you are taking data, put it behind a paywall. It's fine. Like, I will pay you for your data so I have stuff to play with. I really think it's kind of the way forward here for all of us, because these remote imaging companies are just not doing it. I see one guy that runs one of these and works with one of these guys that puts out awesome YouTube content. It's kind of bland, but it's very instructional. I can sit and dig into it. It puts me to sleep. It's awesome. Love it. Dog falls asleep. Good stuff. But I would pay this guy $50 a month to get all the data that he's getting at his remote observatory, even if it's coming from his scope. I don't need client data or none of that stuff. You know, those guys want Instagram fame. I don't even know what they're going to get. Like, what does an Instagram YouTuber make? I think, you know, there's very few people in any space that are ever going to be able to make a career out of it. You know, Trevor Jones did it. Queeve looks like he's doing a pretty good job. He could do it. Chuck was retired. I mean, and, you know, was already doing well for himself. So, you know, what is the end goal? The end goal of a YouTube channel is to teach people how to enjoy the hobby. So give us your data and we will pay you for it. Luca Matico, great. He always provides data. You know, I've been a YouTube member of his as well. So that's just kind of where I'm at with this whole thing. I might be totally wrong about this, but I see so many great tutorials on objects that even if I had a scope out back, I couldn't shoot. Like, I'm not going to get stuff in Australia. I'm not going to get stuff that's like to the south. So I'm never going to be able to shoot Rho. I'm never going to be able to shoot the Eagle Nebula. Like, somebody's going to have to like shoot it for me and give it to me and let me play with it and have my own spin on it. And then let me teach it to people in my style. Like, after everybody else has already done it as well. I mean, how many videos are there out there of the Eagle Nebula being processed? Whether you're running this effect, this color, whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter. But it's just kind of where I see the economy of this whole thing going. The silent generation, the boomers, you know, the people with the money invested in the hobby, you know, they are all, you know, unfortunately, we're all going to be gone someday. And, you know, just seeing the way that things are going, I see so many good small YouTube channels as a setback over the past year and just seeing all of this great, amazing development. And I think about just how much more we would be able to spread the love and joy of the hobby if it was just more accessible. Like, this hobby is just not accessible. The money, the learning curve, everything else, it's probably one of the most difficult hobbies and pricey that you could ever get into besides, I don't know, sports cars or something like that. Like, it's way more expensive than my RC car stuff. That's for sure. I mean, I could build 4 or 5 race buggies compared to buying one Astro camera. So that kind of is what it is. I don't know what you guys think about it. Let me know. And again, I will be free. I'll never put any of my stuff behind the paywall. When I set up the memberships, I made them all the same as I could, except YouTube makes you give perks for people paying you extra money. I guess they try to incentivize you to give them more money because they still take 30% and taxes and everything off the top. So I guess if you give me $1, I might get like, I don't know, 65, 60 cents of that. Not 100% sure. Then I got to claim that to the IRS, and because it's extra income, and they're going to take their 20% of it. So definitely think about that when you're tipping your favorite creators and stuff. Like, I've got the super tips, super chat, all that kind of stuff turned on, and a lot of people do. And I think that's why you've seen a lot of people doing live streams, because they've realized that, hey, I can do a live stream for 2 hours and make 20 times the amount of money in like super chats and tips versus making $2 or $3 off of a video that's going to get a couple thousand views. But there's been a lot of ranting and all this kind of stuff in this video. But my main thing is, like, I want data. Other people want data. They can't afford this stuff. I can't afford it right now. And you know, I'm just trying to figure out a way, because these online things are just not the solution. So what do we got to do? We got to like band together. So if you've got a channel out there and you've got data that you want to share, let me know and we will put it here on the channel. We're growing a nice community as well. Super thankful for that. Of course, all I want to do is just, you know, help spread the word and the love of the hobby. I mean, I'm doing this for like 20 years now, and it's just in such a great place, but I have this feeling that it's just kind of teetering. And I see a lot of people, like, I just see so much good talent out there. But you know, I think people are just kind of going about it the wrong way. Especially these online people. iTelescope, if you are listening to this, or Telescope Live, if you're listening to this, shoot more data and charge us more. Charge us 20, 30 bucks. Outbid iTelescope. I'm going to make a separate video. Hopefully we can get those two together, fighting against each other for our money for this. Bring those prices down so we've got more options for remote astrophotography and all that stuff. So I don't know. That's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully this makes sense, and just kind of think about like where we're at and where we want to go. If we want to still be seeing awesome YouTube content in the next 5 to 10 years, then it's up to us to figure out how to keep that going. And if we're sitting here making videos for people that don't have telescopes anymore, well, then what's the point of all this? Love you all. Peace.